What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Heavy Weapon Concepts. And today we're going to be looking at what would happen if you mixed a little bit of heavy with a little bit of engineer, introducing the Provisioner. Now, right away, you might have noticed this minigun looks quite a lot like the engineer's dispenser, and that's essentially because it is. The Provisioner basically works like a crossbreed between a minigun and a dispenser, dealing damage to the enemy team while also giving back to the player. But with that being said, on paper, wouldn't that potentially make for an incredibly overpowered heavy? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at the stats. So, to start, the Provisioner only comes with one upside, that being that upon kill, the Provisioner refills 25% of the heavy's ammo. Not only that, but also any teammate next to the Provisioner on kill will also receive 25% ammo restoration. This essentially means that Heavy and any teammates near him will gain a little more than a small ammo kit anytime the Heavy gets a kill. While this may not sound like such a big deal, I could definitely see this little perk being a great incentive for classes to want to stick in closer to the Heavy, as well as helping teammates also shoot at some of the same targets. And as an additional perk, this could potentially be a great gun for Heavy that sometimes have problems with ammo reservation. Now, instead of constantly having to worry about how much ammo they have left, the Heavy players would just need to ensure that they land a kill every once in a while, and voila, they'd have 50 ammo back at a time. But of course, with every set of upsides must come some downsides, so here we go. Starting with number 1, the Provisioner comes with a 15% damage penalty. Now, 15% might not sound like much, but in this case, it's actually quite the hit. You see, damage penalties aren't uncommon with miniguns. As we know, both the Natasha and the Huo Longheater share a damage penalty, but the Natasha at least comes with a damage resistance once the Heavy reaches half health, and the Huo Longheater not only sits at a lesser damage penalty than the Provisioner, but also comes with damage buffs if an enemy is caught on fire. So since the Provisioner comes with no damage resistance or a special buff, this 15% would actually make the Provisioner the weakest minigun in Heavy's arsenal. Secondly, the Provisioner cannot deal random crits, which, again, would be fine in a server where random crits are turned off anyway, but would prove to be a disadvantage in servers where they are allowed, such as casual. So, in my opinion, the Provisioner is a very cool concept weapon, but is just missing the mark by a little bit. So here's some fixes I would personally recommend. Firstly, I'd keep the ammo buff, but I'd also add an additional health buff to the Provisioner to make it even more like an actual dispenser. So, while equipped, every 5 seconds the Heavy would receive 10% health back until at full default health. Now, this 10% health back would not require the Heavy to kill an enemy first, but would just happen naturally as the Heavy moves along. But as far as health restoration goes, that would be it. The Provisioner would not restore health to other teammates around it, nor restore any health past Heavy's default full health of 300 HP. Additionally, I would then get rid of the no random crits nerf, as it's not quite necessary in casual games where other guns are allowed random crits. With these changes made though, I think you give the Provisioner a much better chance at being balanced against the rest of Heavy's artillery. Sure, it would still remain Heavy's weakest minigun in terms of DPS, but considering the health restoration aspect, as long as the Heavy could buy time, it's likely the Provisioner could actually hold its own. Not only that, but I think a weapon that slowly restores health on its own could also make for more confident solo Heavies. Basically, any Heavy that wasn't having any luck finding a medic on their team could fall back on this weapon and maybe a secondary banana to restore their health quickly, helping them feel more confident enough to stay up on the front lines with their team. Anyways, although I really like this concept, I don't quite realistically see it being put into the game. I think mixing Heavy's weapon with the Engineer's dispenser just wouldn't be something Valve would be into, likely in part due to wanting to keep the classes distinguished. However, what do you think? Could you realistically see this weapon being put in the game? Could you see it working in casual? Or would you find it game-breaking and come up with a slew of problems? Let me know in the comments below, and regardless, I hope you like watching this concept played out. And until next time, this was Big Joey! Later.